The sky above Black Hollow burned crimson as the sun dipped behind the Ironspine Mountains, casting long shadows over the garrison walls. Sir Cailan stood atop the watchtower, helm under his arm, his eyes locked on the distant east. Thin, black fingers of smoke coiled up against the blood-coloured dusk. Another village. Captain Rayan joined him, voice heavy. That's the fourth in a fortnight. No survivors, no bodies. Just ash. Cailan said nothing. His jaw tightened, fingers flexing against his sword's pommel. The dreams had returned last night. Visions of black-robed figures whispering in tongues not meant for men, a pale king on a throne of bones, and Myron, her face half hidden in moonlight, her touch both fire and sorrow. "You think it's the Ash Tongue?" Rayan asked. "I know it is," Cailan replied, voice steady. "The Ash Tongue were wiped out a generation ago, so we thought. But the flame faltered last week, for the first time in centuries." Rayan's expression darkened. The flame of Eloria wasn't just a symbol, it was the soul of the Oathbound, bound by the First Covenant to protect the kingdom. For it to flicker was unthinkable. "The High Lord has summoned a council. All Oathbound are to return to Iron Vale within the week. I'm not waiting that long." Rayan turned sharply. "You would break rank?" "I'll ride ahead," Cailan said, gripping his sword. "Alone. I've seen enough to know something is festering. I won't wait for politics to catch up to prophecy." Rayan exhaled heavily. "You're still a boy with fire in your blood." Cailan smiled faintly. "Better fire than ash." He rode at dawn. The road east was lonely, winding through mist-covered forests and ruined keeps long claimed by moss and silence. The deeper he rode, the more the land began to change. The birds fell silent, the wind grew colder, trees leaned in like listening ghosts. And then he found it. Eldmarsh, once a thriving village, now little more than blackened timbers and scorched stone. At its heart stood a single stone altar ringed with glyphs in dark iron. Carved into its surface was a spiral, the mark of the Ash Tongue. Cailan dismounted, stepping toward it. The air crackled. His fingers brushed the hilt of his blade. "You shouldn't be here, knight." The voice was soft, feminine, yet held power like distant thunder. Cailan spun, blade half drawn. She stepped from the shadows in a robe of midnight blue, hair black as raven's wings, eyes like molten gold. There was sorrow in her gaze, and something older, deeper. "I'm not your enemy," she said. "Name yourself." "I am Mirren of Velserin, last daughter of the Etherians, exile, witch." Cailan kept his sword raised. "And why are you here?" "Because the king you serve is not what he seems, and the flame you trust has already begun to die." End of chapter 1.